Something about the McLaren, you know, when you look at all the lines from the back to the side to the front, it's like there was just this perfect symphony of lines. Really one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen, irrespective of price. When I get in that car, I'm in a great mood. Like, I'm happy. Like, it's fun. Like, I love driving that car.
What's up?
What's up?
How are you?
Great, bro. You too, man. You ready to have some fun?
Let's do it.
Ready to light it up?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Welcome to episode 1. And today we've got Mr. Justin Jackson in the house. Welcome. How you doing?
Thank you.
How was your drive in today?
It was very nice. I will be honest. I didn't realize it was this deep south. So I planned for about a 30-minute drive, and I saw it's 50 minutes, and we'll just say that the car took care of the rest.
I bet.
So I made it 1 minute late.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice job. We couldn't even tell. So how long have you been a supercar owner?
It depends on what you call a supercar. So I had an '08 Viper years ago and loved it. And then just some life circumstances just made me realize I had some babies and decided probably need to sell it. And of course, I regret it. You always regret selling your favorite cars. But as far as the McLaren I own now, I've owned that for, I think, close to 3 years.
Close to 3 years. How'd you come upon the McLaren out of all the options out there?
There's a lot of good options out there. So, you got the Lamborghinis, you got the Ferraris, of course, the McLarens. Those are really the big three brands that I was considering. And, the search changed a little over time. My eyes got a little bigger. It started out me just looking at a 570 McLaren, which is about the half the price of the 720. And the more I looked into it, the more I just, my eyes got bigger, and I was like, let's just go big. Let's just get the car you really want. And one of the reasons I didn't go with, the Lamborghini, I was really looking at a Huracan at one point. To be honest with you, there's more power in the McLaren, and then it's just a little more unique. I don't really see the 720 very often. I see a little bit more of the Huracans. So I just wanted something a little more unique.
Okay. So why'd you choose something more unique? You're already a unique guy.
For one, a lot of the car designs lately have been very angular.
Yeah. Those Huracans are super angular.
And there's something really beautiful about it. I mean, it's hard to argue against the lines of the Lamborghini. But something about the McLaren, when you look at all the lines from the back to the side to the front, it's like there was just this perfect symphony of lines is the way I could call it, because it's just really one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen, irrespective of price. And so that really drew me to it.
And you got the 720, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Matte black.
Yeah.
With blue pinstripes or blue accents.
It's got the blue brake calipers.
Yeah.
The 720 is the little blue symbol.
Uh-huh.
It's actually not a wrap. People ask all the time because it's matte. But people think I wrapped it, and it's actually just a Satin PPF, so it's not a wrap.
It looks sharp.
Yeah.
Triple sharp. Right. So you got this 3 years ago. Describe what it was like the day it got delivered, or did you get delivered? Did you pick it up? What did it look like?
I got it delivered. Actually, I bought it sight unseen, other than just online.
Sure.
Looking at it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's really how you have to buy a lot of supercars. Is they don't just have them all around town, so you have to buy them either sight unseen or you fly out to go see it. And this car just checked all the boxes. I mean, it had the carbon package. It had the matte. It was black wheels. It had some accents. It had the luxury package, which had the leather interior. So it was really every single thing that I wanted, and I just snatched it up. Well, to answer your question, the delivery was really a pretty horrible experience.
What happened?
So.
What could possibly go wrong during a supercar delivery?
I'm like not able to sleep. The night before, I'm excited. It's going to be there in the morning.
Really? You were that excited?
Oh,
I would
so
be
excited.
too. Oh yeah.
So I wake up. I'm waiting for the delivery driver to call, and sure enough, they call. They say they're going to be there. Then he texted me because my signal's not very good where I live, and he says, in the message, we're having a hard time finding your address. And I'm going, it's not really that hard. There's a placard on my gate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a ranch property, but it's not that hard to find. So he kept saying, can't find it. And then finally he says, we have pulled the trailer off on the side of the road and your car's here. And so he basically described where it was. And I thought, well, I mean, okay, worst case scenario, I go up, he untrailers it, and then I drive it home, right? Well, I pull up around, and it had rained the last couple of days before. So he had it off the trailer, sitting in a muddy driveway.
Come
Like,
on.
it's literally sitting in mud, my car. Like, all four wheels are in mud. And, for some people, they go, like, that's really, you're being a diva here. But seriously, I mean, it was flawless, and it's sitting in mud. And that was my first impression, was my car sitting in mud. So, of course, what do you think I did? Took that thing home, and the first thing I did was, hose it down, get all that mud off. But other than that, I mean, I was excited.
Well, I'm saying, you buy a new pair of shoes, you don't want mud on them.
No.
No. What the heck? That's freaking crazy. What did that guy say about that?
I think he claimed a language barrier because he suddenly wasn't able to speak a lot of English when I talked to him about why he parked it in the mud.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other funny part was, I say funny just trying to make light of it. I was supposed to pay him in cash for the remainder of the delivery, and I did hand him the cash. I even, because I'm paranoid, I think I recorded, the video or the audio of me handing the cash, saying, "Here's the cash." The next day, the delivery company calls me and says, "You owe us for the other half of the delivery."
No.
Yeah.
Great.
And so I just told, I was like, "Guys, I got proofs. This guy took the cash. If he's lying to you, I mean, that's pretty messed up."
Because there's just like a third-party person that takes the job, right?
I think it is. I think what it is, it's a contractor that assigns out to other third-party drivers.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing he doesn't drive for them anymore.
No, I'd assume not.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got the car, and then it's time. You washed it off. I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Made it smitten like a newborn kitten, and it's time to go for your first ride. What was that like, dude?
So that's the other funny part. So I had actually never sat in a 720, so I didn't even know how to turn the car on.
Yeah, perfect.
I mean, it's kind of obvious. There's a red start button, but for the most part, I just needed to acclimate myself with the console. So I had to watch like a few YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. Truth be told, I did. I watched a couple YouTube videos just to make sure I knew where all the features were.
Yeah.
Because, there's different modes: sport mode, track mode, comfort mode, all these different modes. How do you activate the arrow and all that? Anyway, acclimate myself real quick, get behind the wheel, putter down the road, because I'm just like...
By yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first ride was fun. I probably didn't go super fast, just trying to feel it out. But yeah, it's an exciting car to drive.
Of course it's exciting. How many horsepower does your car have?
I think they say 710, but I think the reason they called it the 720 is because it's supposed to be 720, but depending on who you look up, I think it's 710 or 720.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
You're by yourself at the time, and you puttered around. You want to get a feel for the car, but like, what sense did that bring you? Because it's a big deal to most people to have an accomplishment like this. Did it feel that way for you, or was it just like, typical day at the office? Did you get any senses? What was that?
So the slightly longer answer to that is I've always been into cars. Mm-hmm. So my very first car was a 69 Camaro, straight in when I was 16. And it was a really nice, slightly rare car. Granted, they were way cheaper back then than they are now.
Sure.
My dad was always into cars. My brother's into cars. So we've always been into cars. So for me, the car was very much internally something I knew would put a smile on my face, not just for the first day, but for even as I sit here today. Like, when I get in that car, I'm in a great mood. Like, I'm happy. Like, it's fun. Like, I love driving that car. Yeah. So yeah, huge smile the first time. This morning when I, got in the car and detailed it and everything, same feeling. I mean, I just love this car.
So when you have a car like that, right, it's definitely a conversation starter to most people. Let's say you go to the gas station, or let's say you go off to dinner with your wife or whatever. People are going to come up to you and chat about it. What about it opening up doors metaphorically? Has it done that for you by chance?
Yeah, for sure. Because just like you said, really fun cars are conversation starters. And generally, and this is a good thing for my wife to hear, it's conversation starters for men to men, right? Women don't come to talk to me about my car. It's men. Men love cars. That's just what I've come to find. And I'm very happy with that. It keeps me out of trouble. Yeah. But I'll say that, for sure, whether you go to a car event or whether you're just at the gas station, I mean, somebody's going to come up to you and ask what it is or ask if they can sit in it. And I love it when especially the younger kids get really excited about cars because, whatever it takes for someone else to be motivated, if I can provide any little extra spark, that's great. But back to what you were saying, I've absolutely made several really good friendships just by virtue of owning the car. There's an organization called the Exotic Network that I love going to their events.
Oh yeah. 10.
Yeah. And of course, Fastlane is also attending a lot of those events as well.
Yep.
But there's just some really good people out there that you can meet, and the car is just really the conversation starter.
Yeah, man. We have a huge community here in the greater Austin area. It's growing really, really fast. So now you've got this, you can go hang out with the other owners, right? Yeah, that's great. What about business? Does it open up business opportunities for you?
Maybe. I don't really think of it as a business thing. I'm sure I've gotten business somehow indirectly from it, whether it be from an event or someone referring me from an event. It probably does, but I mean, truly what motivates me about the car is, I always think of it this way, like if I was the only person still on earth and I could drive that car or not drive the car, I would be super happy smiling driving the car. Like, it's not just about how others perceive it.
Right.
It's also not just because it's a tool to meet other people. Like, it's just how you feel when you get behind the wheel. And that's when I knew that, or I'll say that's one thing that confirms to me that I know that the car is very valuable to me, is because it kind of brings some additional emotion to me that's no other thing really can.
Well, that, and it also ties to your family, right? Because your whole family are car people.
Yeah.
Right? Did you get that from your dad?
Yeah, my dad. My dad's always been into cars, even cars that his eyes were a little bigger than his billfold, but he's a car nut. So yeah, I was into cars really young.
What's one of your most favorite memories of you and your dad in cars?
When we were really young, we had a mutual, well, as a family friend, he had a dragster.
Cool.
So we'd go down to the local drag strip and we would like be his pit crew. I was like 8. I didn't know anything about cars, but
yeah, just blow anything up.
But I think around 9 or so, he would actually let me, after the parachute popped out, after he finished his run, he'd let me get in the dragster and help steer it back to as they towed it.
What?
And it was just something you don't forget. It felt special. You're in the dragster, so it was fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, I weren't too much into cars. My dad was always a pickup truck guy. He always had these old school Fords for some reason. But yeah, I remember going on rides with my dad during the summer to jobs and listening to some music. But I think it's something that's special between a father and a son. Just being in some way, shape, or form with the car or pickup truck. That's great, man.
Yeah, my dad had an old Ford as well. And, back in, I don't know what days we're talking about, back in my days, you just jump in the back of the tailgate and ride around.
Yeah.
Like, there was no seat belts.
Where'd you grow up?
South Texas.
South Texas.
Yeah, Edinburgh.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could do that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
For sure.
I grew up in the mountains of New York. Same thing. You do whatever you want. It was awesome. So naturally, you're Esquire. Is that right? Is that what they call
you? You could call that, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
How long have you been practicing in law?
This is actually my 20th year.
You're kidding. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
How in the world did you pick? I've heard two different perspectives. People would say I would never become a lawyer after doing it for this long. Some people say this is the best thing I've ever done. What do you think?
It's a mixture of the two. So there have certainly been parts of me during my career that hated what I did because I feel like I'm a pretty good adversarial advocate, but there's part of me that also says, well, that's a natural thing in me. There's kind of the yin and the yang. Part of me it's not the natural part of me. Part of me just wants to have, peace and get in the car and have fun, right?
Yeah.
And just enjoy the nicer things. And of course the law is you're required to be not that at all times. So again, part of it is I feel like I had some natural aptitude for it, and some natural passion for it because I've always been competitive. But certainly there's a part of you that it can drain you a little bit. So it just depends on the day and the month when you ask me how I feel about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's one of the most crazy stories you've got from being a lawyer?
Oof.
That you can share? Everybody's got a crazy story for what they do.
Let's come back to that because, for one, I have to think to myself whether I can say it.
Sure.
and then,
Totally fair.
yeah.
Totally fair.
And then some of them are so buried in the nether regions of my head, the bad ones. Yeah, they are.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's some crazy stories.
Well, out of being a lawyer, what's one thing that you know better than most, other than the law? It's not like a super practical question. It's more like overarching themes. What's something that you know better than everybody else because of you doing what you do?
I mean, I could certainly say I understand a contract a lot better than most, even though that really wasn't a specialty of mine. You know, you work with enough contracts that just verbiage, and I would just say word usage in general, you become like you're a wordsmith. I mean, really, you get paid to talk and write. That's really essentially what it is. Probably something else would just be the reality of the concept of lawsuits and being sued. There's just most people, when you hear the concept of getting sued or defending a lawsuit, or suing someone, there's a lot of misconceptions about it. Not only how often it really happens, but what happens when someone's sued, to what happens if someone wins. Of course, the whole process in between. So that's kind of a big answer, but I would just say that when I hear people just casually talking about lawsuits in general, to me, it's like I can just see the whole playing field when somebody says that.
Yeah.
And I just know what it looks like and what it feels like. And there's a lot of misconceptions, but it would be probably too long to go through all of those.
God, can you give me just maybe like 2 common misconceptions
Well,
about it? I'm curious.
So I'll say this. Most people, particularly the very successful that I encounter, they're very worried about getting sued. The more successful you are, the more you just, if you're not an attorney especially, the more you get worried about getting sued. So I do estate planning and I do things to help people prevent themselves from getting sued. But we're really talking about reducing a likelihood that's like extremely, extremely little already down to close to zero.
Okay.
So what I really mean is that the revelation that I'm aware of is, because I've been doing this 20 years, people rarely get sued. People rarely sue. Now, I know that's, I'm sure I assume you probably haven't been involved in a lawsuit before. Hopefully never. But people do spend a lot of, I think, emotional energy worrying about that and preparing for it. And I think that's a healthy thing, but I think there's a line. I think there's only so far you can go. And the truth of the matter is, as long as you conduct your business right, you probably don't have a lot to worry about.
Sure. It's ethics. Be a good person.
That's it.
Pretty cut and dry. So what's one other thing? So other than the frequency piece, what's another thing that you know more than most people?
Well, like I said, the wordsmithing part, the general layout of lawsuits.
Yeah.
Of course, I also understand just the way laws come to be and how they're worded and why they're worded the way they are. So we study a little bit at law school. And so, for a lot of people, the whole government legislative process is like, there's a huge veil around it in their mind, just understanding the multiple layers of the law and how those multiple layers of the law interact with one another, how the multiple layers of courts interact with one another. So, there's often online, whether it be Fox or CNN, whoever your favorite news sources, there's very frequently articles about a certain justice doing something or a certain law occurring and it accomplishing this, or there being a dispute about the law being this. And of course, when I see those headlines, oftentimes the moment I read the first paragraph, I can dissect what's really going on, because sometimes the headline's very misleading.
Sure.
It'll be like this.
Get your attention.
It'll be like this law got struck down.
Yeah.
And I'm going, it probably really wasn't struck down. So then I look at it and it'll say there was an application for a restraining order and the restraining order was denied, or the restraining order was granted. And I know a restraining order is temporary. I know the phase they're talking about is the first volley. I know that's not the ultimate result. That's just the first volley in the process. So a lot of times they mislead the public into thinking certain things are happening because why? You want to click it and you get excited. You're like, whoa, what happened? Dang. And sometimes it's not really what it seems.
And being a lawyer, how does that help you with your everyday life? Right? Because the way you think is differently than most people. Right? Yeah. I don't even know how to explain the way you think, but you got to admit, that's a little bit different. So how does that help you navigate just general scenarios?
It's probably a little bit like a boxer would feel when they're in a very threatening environment, a little bit more peaceful, because they have solutions, right, in the violent scenario.
That's nice.
So when I'm in a potentially risky business environment, whether it be a deal or something, I enter it with a little bit more confidence. So one of the ongoing jokes you hear between lawyers is lawyers typically don't even read what they sign. That sounds really bizarre, but it's actually true in a lot of ways. And I mean that in a very joking way.
Yeah.
We do read what we sign, but what I mean is anytime there's really, gotcha fine print, oftentimes that fine print can be challenged and defeated.
Seriously?
And what I mean by the fine print, you have to be careful. I'm not advising anyone to not read their agreements. What I'm saying is, attorneys, it's kind of like a boxer going into the ring and maybe not, against maybe an opponent they feel that's inferior, right?
Sure.
And they're just being a little casual about it, right? Because they know how to handle that inferior opponent. If I look at my contract and I'm not thrilled about certain aspects of it, but certain aspects of it I know are so overreaching that nobody would ever enforce them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm a little like, I don't care as much about it, right? And of course, there's a lot of things in contracts that I gloss over because I know that they don't even apply to what we're talking about and they're never going to happen. Yeah. So I can, a lot of contracts are written very similarly, so I can gloss over a lot of the parts that I don't need to read, so I know exactly where to look.
I'd say that's pretty helpful.
Yeah, it is.
If you're not a lawyer. We have a question from the audience. Go ahead. The question was, where should people be looking? What's the most important pieces of a contract?
Two things that, and they're all important. I'm supposed to say that as a lawyer. But oftentimes there's overreaching waiver language. And so, for example, you're entering an agreement to, I don't know, let's just say rent a car or something, and it'll say something like, I'm making up a real silly example, but it'll say something like, even basically if our car blows up on you and it's our fault, you're still waiving all liability against us for that. I'm just going like, why would you waive something extreme that they have done? Like you wouldn't do that.
No.
Now you would waive things that make sense, like, something unforeseen from both sides that, it couldn't have been anyone's fault. It may be a third party runs into you. That's not their fault. That's not maybe my fault. Right. Another thing is sometimes they try to limit liability. So sometimes they'll say, even if we cause the car to blow up, again, silly example, we're going to limit the damages that you could ever incur against us to the amount that you rented the car for. So it'd be like, the most I could see for basically causing third-degree burns all over me is $100. Right. Yeah. I mean, some of those things are a little silly. And, so you're looking for the waiver headings. Yeah. You're looking for the limitations of damages or limitations of liability. I mean, there's other things, but those are two that I think are pretty common.
Man, that's a great tip. I hope y'all are taking notes out there. You're hearing it from the pro himself, okay? So last question before we go. I have some fun outside. I heard that supercars are for people that like to live life in the fast lane, that they're go, high impact, high speed people. And then golf is for people that like safety and security and they like to go a little slower. But just so happens that you like both. So what have you got to say about that?
I think that the people that really know me would say that there are things about me that conflict with each other. I'm a peace lover. But when you push me into a corner, I'm a fighter. Oh. I can drive. I also have a 69 Camaro. So nice. I drive that sometimes really slow. I sometimes drive it very fast. Same thing for the McLaren. Sometimes I'm the slowest car on the highway and everybody's flying by me. Yep. And then sometimes, I got to get to a podcast and I got to make 20 minutes up. So, hey, there's a situation for everything. But yeah, I just feel like living a dynamic life is more exciting than, being one-dimensional. So.
Just hitting balls all day at the golf course.
Yeah.
You got to have some variety, folks. You got to have some range.
I mean, speaking of variety, sometimes, I'm hitting close to a par and then sometimes hitting a quadruple bogey,
Look,
right?
We don't got to talk about your golf game today, dude. I've seen it in action. We don't have to talk about that. We're here to inspire people, okay? No, I'm just kidding. Well, thank you so much for all of your wisdom here. This is incredible. If there's one message you want to share with the younger generation, what would that be?
Other than the cliches, the cliches still apply. Work really hard,
Yeah.
get your education, work on yourself. I think the one thing that truly separates the really successful from the just kind of, Dave Ramsey types that live real safe, it's one word, it's risk. You've got to be willing to take a risk. In risk, oftentimes it's your family that thinks you're crazy. Sometimes your wife will think you're doing something a little too wild. Your brother, your sister might, and I'm not speaking for my family's always been very supportive, but there's a lot of people that have bold visions and ideas, and they can appear crazy at first. And you look around at the most successful innovators and the most successful business people, and they've all taken big risks. They put their either personal lives, they put their investments at risk. And I would just say, don't ever be afraid to take a risk, even if it's a big risk. Granted, you want to take a calculated risk,
Right.
but
Consult your lawyer before you do it.
that's right. Read the contract. But anytime you enter into unknown territory of a new venture, you don't know what the future holds. So you are taking a risk, and sometimes the biggest gains come from the biggest risks.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah, I'm pretty inspired right now. It makes you think to myself, like, am I not taking risk in certain areas of my life? I think it's important for us to take a moment and marinate on what Justin just said. Where are we playing small? Where are we not taking risk? And if we're taking risks, are we doing so in a calculated way? Are we seeking counsel from viable peers? No,
That's right.
not your buddies that are smoking pot on the couch, but people that have maybe done the thing before.
Oh, and you just hit another nail on the head, which is you always want to try and, I've never discriminated my friends based upon they have to be as successful or more successful than me. I just think that's a really shallow way to live your life. I think that's superficial. But I do think in your friend network, you've got to have some people that are at least on your level. Ideally, they're significantly levels higher. And
When you say level,
yeah.
I'm going to assume you're talking about their values.
I'm talking about the way that they live their life, their habits, the goals that they have, the aspirations they have. People that you look at and you're inspired by them because of the energy and the trajectory that they have.
Sure.
Because you're right. I don't lump everybody into just a bank account, as a success. Because there's a lot of people that I've known that I don't consider successful, and they have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And there's some people I know that don't have a lot of money, but they're on the right trajectory, and I consider themselves extremely successful. I've known people that operate nonprofits, and they're not really making a lot of money, but they're making a huge impact, right?
Sure.
So
It's like a spirit.
it is.
It's something that you might
It's
not
an
be able
energy.
to quantify.
Yeah.
It's an energy.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of men were a little bit wired to be competitive. Most men, let's just be honest, most men are, and you have to keep that competitive nature when you're finding these men who are, let's call them higher level than you. But at the same time, the truth is, you should really want to surround yourself with somebody that's even knowing and admitting they're on a higher level than me, and not let your ego or your pride get in the way and go, I'm going to be humble. I'm going to listen to these people, and I'm going to take the good advice that they have, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the hardest things to do for a lot of people is to listen, implement that patience, right? A lot of people give, the most successful people in my experience are very giving, and they will leave clues if we're willing to listen.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, one of my good friends and business partners says he loves having an abundance mentality, meaning even in the industry that I'm an investor in another company, and we've always taken the mentality, even our competitors, we share information because we don't feel like the pie is just this tiny little limited thing. We feel the pie can be much bigger for everybody if we all work together to some degree, right? We don't give away all of our trade secrets, but it's a good, I think, attitude to have an abundance mentality, which is where everybody can benefit. We can collaborate. We don't have to be enemies, even if we're competitors.
Yeah, going further farther, faster together. Is that it?
Yeah, you could throw some cliches in there, and I'm not trying to get too cliche, but there's a lot of truth to that. Yeah.
Yeah, but to your point, we also don't want to give away our secret sauce.
No,
Because
you don't give that away.
That's what keeps the lights on.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
No, like Colonel Sanders, right?
Hey, you're right. That's good chicken.
He still doesn't give away his secret recipe online.
I don't think he ever will. I think he's dead.
He won't. Exactly, dude.
So about 10 years ago, there was, believe it or not, a fellow attorney that would probably a couple days a week, he'd get really drunk, and about 4:30 p.m., right before the office closed, he'd start calling the front desk, wanting to talk to you. Can I say a bad word?
Yeah.
He wanted to talk to Jackass Jackson.
Okay.
And we didn't really have like necessarily a terrible history working on another case, but I think he just for some reason had it out for me, and I don't know why. But long story short, he'd make these calls like every week and drunk. And he's a fellow lawyer, an actual like licensed lawyer.
He was calling you randomly.
Yeah, and my staff would just say, she was real diplomatic, say he's not available. And I'm just sitting there going, so it got worse. One afternoon, I decided, I got my little voice recorder, and this is, I think at this time the iPhone didn't have the voice recorder function. This has been about at least 10 years ago. So I had actually one of the old school voice recorders. So I was like, Lisa, patch him through. So she patched him through. I said, sure, I'm available. I'll talk to this guy. And so he gets on the phone. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just sitting here. What are you doing? He goes, I've got body armor right now on, and I've got my guns loaded, and I'm coming over to your office to kill you. Like, true story. And I got the recording too.
What?
Yeah, body armor, his guns loaded, and he's coming over to the office to kill me. And the weird thing about it, if I had been, I don't think I was married at that moment. If I was, maybe I think she might have been my fiance. But I'll tell you this, if she had been in the room at the time, she would have been freaked out because it sounded pretty legit. But, I think I knew this guy to be a real drunk. So for whatever crazy reason, I didn't really take it very serious.
No,
it just was bizarre. Like, he wasn't laughing about it. He was being serious, but just kind of slurring his words. So the funny part, and I'm using funny again. It doesn't really apply, but the funny part.
it's funny now.
I can find it funny now.
Yeah.
I contacted Cedar Park Police. Yeah. Because the call came into my office, Cedar Park, and the officer walked me through it. He listened to the recording and he goes, it doesn't really sound like he was truly threatening you. And I was like, I don't know what else you could say to threaten somebody other than my guns are loaded, I've got body armor on, and I'm coming to kill you. He goes, well, he didn't show up, did he? I'm like, well, that's a good thing, right? I mean, we're fortunate that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I said, what about if they didn't charge him with anything? I think all they did was they called him, and I think they put him on the phone, and I think they might have given him some kind of like a little, warning, like, hey, just chill.
Yeah. 2 less shots.
Yeah.
Next Friday, take it
and
down.
the real tragic part, because I don't take any pleasure in other people's demise, even people that are like that. But the rumor was, so I know he died a couple years later. But the rumor was, and I think it's true. And again, I'm not even naming names, so nobody can say I'm slandering anybody, and he's deceased. But the rumor was he drank so much outside his office in his car that he choked on his own vomit and died. Yeah. So that's how it worked out.
That's too much.
You asked for it. I told you the story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can imagine this guy. You know what? He must have been so bored on a Friday and in his own little world, and he just says, I'm going to mess with somebody today. I'm called Justin Jackson.
It's too bad I didn't know you at the time. You could have been my bodyguard.
I would have ruffled some feathers for you. That's right. Wow, you're not kidding.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's freaking crazy. For 1 second, though, did you feel a little afraid, or were you
about 5%?
Because you never know.
I thought about it a little bit, and I thought, what if? And so, I think we, there was like 20 minutes left in the day, so I wasn't going to be there anyway. But I think So at the time, I had a really, let's just call her kind of an OG gangster secretary. She's an older lady, and she was amazing. But she said, "You don't have to say a word." She goes, "You probably don't know this, but I've been bringing my .38 revolver in for the last 6 months anyway." So she goes, "We're good anyway." She goes, "I'm strapped, so we're good."
Yeah.
I had been.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Way to go, Deborah.
She wasn't scared at all. Like she was ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was ready, man.
She got your back.
Yeah. She
Hey,
did.
way to assemble the right team.
Absolutely.
There you go. That's loyalty right there.
That is.
Watch out. She'll be pulling out that 6-shooter.
Yeah. It really was.
Man, no good.
It was a little revolver. Yeah. It's a little
For real?
38. Yeah.
Hope she knows how to use it.
I'm telling you, you saw this lady, you know that she knew how to use it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Tell you what, Tammy's a shooter. Yeah, you're a shooter.
You haven't learned the wrong way, right?
What's that?
I don't know. You tell me.
No, because we're still here.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
This guy. This is great. Well, dude, let's go have some fun, shall we?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is, you know what we'll call this? Instead of a podcast or a vlog, it's a vlogcast. Because it's a combination.
Whatever you want to call it, man.
It's pretty cool. I just thought of that right now. I like that.
That's special.
It's a vlog. Yes, we're special. We're unique, just like your car. Let's go. Let's do it.
You ready?
We're ready.
Let's do it.
Buckle up for safety.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're telling me, if you were to only change one thing in this car after owning it for 3 years, it would just be the exhaust? Maybe?
Maybe, but that's it. That's like gun pointed to my head. I don't really want to change anything. I like everything about the car.
Like everything about that.
I really, really do.
That says a lot.
Yeah. It's just an incredible car. I could probably sell it for the exact dollar for dollar that I paid for it 3 years ago, even with the new miles.
It's amazing.
And I don't want a different car, like at all. I would buy it again. If it got totaled, I'd buy it again.
Serious. Yeah.
Get a little taste of it in a second,
Okay.
if you want a little taste.
Yeah, I'm always down for this little taste. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. God, 700 something. 710 or 720 horsepower.
Yeah, we'll get a little on it. Sure. Try to keep ourselves alive in the process.
Yeah. Safety first. Put my head on backwards, just in case. This is amazing. And the seats are comfortable.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's really a comfortable car to drive.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. What? Woo! Whoa.
Yeah, one other cool little fun facts. 0 to 100 is 2 ticks faster than a Veyron.
What?
Yeah. So it'll go 5.3 and to 100.
I love the sound of that. Wow. God, it like skips.
It kind of does. It's got really incredible traction control, so it kind of, you'll feel it kind of lose traction a little bit.
Yeah. Not much.
Yeah, those turbos, they spin up.
It's got everything. You know, the sound, the speed. Woo!
I forgot what we turned into. Is it back there?
Yeah.
It is. Turn around, Huey.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
It took me a second.
Yeah, that traction control, you can feel it fighting at times. It's like, we're trying here to keep the wheels on the pavement.
Yeah.
But no, it's really incredible. I mean, it's 2-wheel drive, but sometimes, I mean, people are amazed at how well it, oh, here? Up to here? I think it's here, yeah. It just really plans well.
For a two-wheel car, it's a
Okay.
two-wheel class R. It's pretty incredible.
It really does.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was rear wheel or all whip because it was so sticky.
Yeah.
It's great. What do you think of the console?
Ah, man, seriously, every little thing is a work art. So you know that the gauges come up and down.
You sit. Oh, that
The
does.
whole console just flattens out. Oh, why don't I do that?
That's a nice toast.
Oh, there he's got window
Hey,
wipers. too.
glad to know these work. You know.
Let's get him to stop. What did I just do? Now I don't even know what I'm tripping wipers.
That's perfect. It's so real.
All right. Anyway, yeah, this whole gauge cluster
Yeah.
comes down and comes like, you know, when you turn on the car, it comes up. Here we are still with the wipers on. Honestly, it's just so superfluous. Like, it's not even necessary, but it's just cool that it does it. There's a launch mode, so whenever the gauge cluster comes down,
Yeah.
you can launch the car to where it'll get like your max 0 to 60.
What?
And it'll do a countdown and it'll launch. And there's a little gauge deal here on the top, but
Yeah.
it's facing you.
Oh, does it show your RPMs?
Yeah, it kind of does a little countdown RPMs. It's just, there's just some stuff on here that to me, it's not a cheap car, but some of the stuff on here just feels even more expensive than like the value's really good is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Yeah.
So, carbon fiber on the wheel there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the gauge cluster is very intuitive. You know, even the console is very intuitive. You've got your comfort sport track for your basically your gearbox, and then your suspension comfort sport track. So you can just do that. Of course, you can go manual mode with the paddles if you really want. There's really no need to. I mean, my favorite mode is straight up sport all the way,
Okay.
because you get really good gear shifts at sport. If you want to go really, really high rev, you just flip it over to the track. But it's pretty comfortable to drive. It's just like if you just want to cruise around town, I mean, even in the sport mode, yeah, it's really not bad.
If you want to rip it,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, you know what's the deal if you want to riff it.
Oh my gosh, man! This just, to your point, just lights you up when you sit here.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like it's happiness.
Yeah, and you know, here's the other thing. Let's get real. Like, when the top's down,
Yeah.
it's visceral.
It's the
You
best.
feel the wind, and it's just...
If y'all don't get one of these, you gotta get one.
Yeah. You just get one.
I'm gonna get one.
Yeah.
It's on my
Let's
list.
be twinsies.
Right? Well, I kind of like an Aston Martin, but
Do that.
yeah, right? Convertible.
Yeah.
All right, I'm down, dude. Well, thanks again, man. This is freaking awesome. Dude, this is so good. Hey, we're gonna drop all of Justin's links down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for those that are viewing this online, we're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, everything you could think of. So make sure to hit that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, leave a 5-star review, and until next time, everybody, stay fired up.
Well, sir.